We now saw lots of examples where ChatGPT helps us to make our daily tasks a bit easier. In this example now, we'll have a look at how we can write utility tools or utility scripts with the help of ChatGPT. Writing such scripts requires a programming language. We will use Python in this case, the world's most popular programming language. But the great news is that ChatGPT will do all the work for us. So you don't have to know anything about programming to create such little scripts. The only thing you have to know is that writing such scripts requires a certain task, so something this script, this tool, should do for you. In my case, I have a folder on my desktop. This folder is named Files, and the folder, as the name indicates, contains files. I only have 3 files here for demonstration purposes, but these could of course also be hundreds of files. As you see, the files simply contain to-dos for different days, but the naming of the files is not very consistent. So we have lowercase letters, uppercase letters, or both mixed. And I just want to make sure that I write a script to turn all uppercase letters into lowercase letters. Let's see how ChatGPT can help us here. By adding this prompt, we instruct ChatGPT to be a programmer or to act as a programmer, and we tell it that we need a Python script. The rest is just some basic information about our computer. I, for example, am working on a Mac computer. If you're using a Windows computer, for example, you should of course change this. And the rest just describes what I just showed you regarding my folder structure and the goal I have. Let's now see if ChatGPT can come up with a solution that works for non-programmers. So this is the guide ChatGPT came up with. Now let's follow this guide step by step and see if we actually created our first utility script. The first thing to do is we have to install Python. So in case you don't have Python installed, go to python.org and install it there. It's a very straightforward process. In case anything is unclear there, you can simply ask ChatGPT to guide you through the installation. The second step is, as I'm working on a Mac computer, to open the terminal. So we simply have to type command and space to open the Spotlight search, and there we can find the terminal. So let's open the terminal now. So I got my terminal here to the right. In the terminal, we should now create a new Python script. For this, we first have to navigate to the desktop by using the cd command here. So this now simply navigates inside the terminal to our desktop where the project files are and where we will also create our Python file with the code. And now, as we are on the desktop, we will run the touch command to create a new file named renamefiles.py. This file will then contain our code. If you ran this command successfully, you should find a new file on your desktop named renamefiles.py. The next step now is to open the file that we just created inside our terminal. For this, we run this open command here. And once again, confirm this with enter. Now the text editor should have opened. So here I got my text editor where I will now add my code. We will simply copy paste the code here. In this example, this is all right because we checked the code obviously. But you shouldn't simply copy and paste code ChatGPT generated and which you don't understand. In this case, we are working with files on our system, so this can cause damage on your machine. Therefore, always check the code you run and use that is generated by ChatGPT. This code here I created is alright, so you can just use that code on your machine. The code can also be found attached to this video. So with copy code right here, we can now paste it into our text editor and save this with Command S. And now we should close the text editor. And then with this, we are already done. Now we only have to run the script by typing, or by in this case copying, this command into the terminal. This will now simply run the code that we have in the renamefiles.py file, and we should have renamed files now in our folder. Indeed, this worked. Now we have lowercase letters only in our files folder. So this was just a very basic example, obviously. As you know, the results you get might and probably will be different from the ones I received right here. Nevertheless, you see, with ChatGPT, even people without any programming language can create or write such utility scripts within seconds. I mentioned the things to consider already. Never copy and paste the code though, so you should always understand what is actually going on here and what the code does.